Let's look at the agile development methods, the iterative and the incremental methods of agile project management. Now, when developing a product, a service, or a customer experience using an agile methodology, we usually start with building a minimum viable product, also called the MVP. So what does that mean? You want to build a robust application. You want to build something big, but you're starting in bits, until it becomes a habit. You're starting small whilst you're looking at the bigger picture of what you want to build. So every agile product, every agile project that is being worked on starts with a minimum viable product called a MVP. And a MVP, as we can see here, is a partially developed version of a new product that allows a team to quickly collect maximum information from users. Now, with the least effort and investments, this MVP is not the final product. No, as I said, it's a bit of the bigger product. Rather, it's a baseline that reflects the core functionality, enabling us to learn from users' interaction and feedback. So every now and then, you're asking the user, how was it? How will you prefer it to be? So whilst they are interacting with what we are building or we have built, they give us feedback. Then we use their interaction feedback to improve on the next future or futures of what we are building. Now, with Agile, we can develop a new product in both an iterative and incremental process. Understanding the distinction between these two development methods is crucial, as it allows teams to align their project strategy with business goals, market needs, and the user's expectations. Now, to better understand this concept, let's look at the following examples of how a product can be built iteratively and incrementally. Now, the iterative. When we build iteratively, we constantly refine the products. So we start with a rough draft and increase the details as we go along. We don't necessarily have to have the finished product in mind, as we can change it while we develop. So we want to develop a learning app that would help us learn any course, or maybe this course even better next time. And the first thing we have is just a sketch. It's just a wireframe, just as we can see in the first image. Just a sketch of what we want to achieve. And in the next iteration or sprint, as it were, we add more features. Can you see? The second iteration looks better than what we first had. Perhaps the first one was just an idea of what we want to do, but now we have added more flesh to it. We have added more features to it, as it were. So we continue building and improving on that thing iteratively. And now, as you can see, we have added videos, we have added images. It looks more like an app. So instead of just an image here we added like a button, but the button was not clickable. We added just an image to show where the video will be. But on the next iteration or the next sprint, now we uploaded the video for the course itself. Now the buttons are now clickable and actionable. They can now perform actions, and you can see it all started from nothing to something better, to something even more better, and that is how it continues. Now we can create the app in an iterative way. In other words, we can deliver the app using the MVP. So this can even be our minimum viable product concept to showcase it at different stages of our users. We start with a storyboard, then create a prototype on paper, then we have a functional app on our phone, just as we can see on the third image here. And as time goes on, we can add new features, we can update it, we can upgrade it. So that is how we build products in the iterative method of agile project management. Let's look at the incremental way. So in the incremental, now, as you can see, when we build incrementally, we create it one piece at a time. When building this way, we usually have to have the full idea formulated before development. So we want to build an app, but instead of just having a skeleton of what we want to build, we already have the idea of the learning app we want to build. So the first one we want to do in the incremental, so instead of doing it iteratively, we want to build small, increase on what we have built, increase on what we have built. So we build one, we add one to it, it becomes two. We add another feature to it, it becomes 3 features. We add another feature to it, it becomes 4 features. And we continue building and adding features, unlike just building incrementally. So now the first thing we want to do here is upload our video. But you know, in iteratively, what we did was we allowed a spacing. We did like a skeleton for the whole app, knowing where the video comes to stay, knowing where the comment comes to stay, the buttons and other things. But now we start by bringing the video itself, just under the video, and we have the video here on the app. And all users can do on this app is just come and watch the video for the course. Then again, we add another section to it where users can now comment, like the video. Then we add images, like descriptional images for that video for additional learning. Then under it, we have a lot of description about the course, a lot of what have you, quiz, and a whole lot of that. So we are adding this in bits, to, we've added the third one, we've added the fourth one, and now we are adding the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. So we are increasing as we are building. So we can build the app incrementally. To build the same app incrementally, we would develop different aspects of the app. For example, we could start by building the interface, then the buttons, then the graphics, then the content, then we continue that way until we have the final products. Now, understanding what you can do iteratively and what you can also do incrementally is fundamental in business agility. That is building very fast and meeting the users at the point of their needs quickly. So let's go back and see what that takes us through in some few exercises. Iterative. Now, our client needs us to build something so he can travel to work. You will use an iterative approach to build this transport system for this our client, starting simple and getting gradually more complex. And you will need to show him our progress with different release doing this. Now, let's get started. Now, Review the iterative release below and choose the answer that best represents the correct order of the releases. So we want to build a transport system for our clients. I want to build it in such a way that we are building and showing it to our clients. And at every phase of development or building, our clients can use the transport system. So when we bring the next release, our client feels more comfortable on the transport system. When we bring another release, it feels even more comfortable on the transport system. When we bring another one, it feels even better and more comfortable on the transport system. So what would that be? As you can see, we start from a what? We move towards skate, and we move towards this, then a bike and a car. Of course, 1 is more comfortable than 4, isn't it? And 5 is more comfortable than 1. And 2 is more comfortable than 3, and even more comfortable than 1, 4, and 5. So what will our answer be? Our answer will be what? 4, 1, 5, 3, 2. 4, 1, 5, 3, 2. Our answer will be C. That's correct. Now, exercise 2, building a product incrementally. Let's start. This client also needs us to build something so she can travel to work. But this time, we are going to use an incremental approach. Now, at every phase of what we are building, the clients may not necessarily be able to use that bit we have done, but the client will know that there is an increment, there is an improvement in what we are doing or what is being done. So review this incremental release and choose the answer that best represents the first release you would show to the clients. So the first thing we'll show to the clients is 5, just the wheel. We want to show another wheel. Now we don't have just one wheel, we have 2 wheels. The client will be happy. Wow, you have 2 now. Then we have something better. We have attached the 2 wheels together. Even something more better. And now we have a car. You can see, whilst we are improving incrementally, the client may not necessarily be able to use every bit and pieces we are working on, but the client knows and expects increments. But at the end of a short while, the client is able to fully enjoy the transportation system. And so what would this answer be? It will be 5, 2, 3, 1, 4, right? So it's going to be 5, 3, 2, 1, and the answer is C. That's correct. Building incrementally, we start by formulating an idea of the product, in this case a car, and then we build in piece by piece. Notice how in this process the output of each stage is not usable until the final product is built. I hope we got that. But for the other one, which is iteratively, products can be used at each of the development phase, but in the incremental, the product cannot be necessarily used during the development time.